Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Trails Radio Show. Thank you for joining us today. Today, my special guest is entertainer Mr. Tim Sells. Thank you, and join us in a minute. My first question to you is, how did you get started in your career? How did your career begin?
I started out actually doing a Frank Sinatra tribute. Mm-hmm. And we went, just local places around where I live at. And I have a friend who got a call from Legends in Concert. We went down there, and he was performing. And after the show, one of the other performers asked if I liked Kenny Rogers' music. I told him, yeah, and he wanted to know if I could grow a beard. And so I said, yeah. He said, well, you ought to think about it. And so 15 years later, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, so that's where that started. And Kenny Rogers, what a wonderful singer, what a wonderful talent. Sadly, he passed away a few days ago.
Right. Mm-hmm. On the 22nd, 81 years old, but 50 plus years of making music, 26 number one hits on the country charts, the pop charts. He transcended the genres of music to where everyone could enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever get to meet him?
I did, yes. Very, very nice gentleman, very humble, never forgot where he came from, was always willing to help somebody out, always willing to give a piece of advice, and what a wonderful philanthropist. He mm-hmm. always cared for animals. He loved his horses. He also has a Kenny Rogers Children's Center that deals with the sick and needy children. That they have a great facility up there, and Kenny helped get that started. So not just his music, he was a plethora of projects, and wanted each one of them to be the best that there was.
Absolutely. Yeah. My next question to you is, what do you find for you is the most difficult part in your career? What do you find is the most challenging or most difficult?
The most challenging part is getting to I guess having people want more music than what we have time for in each of the shows. I think that's the biggest problem that I run into as far as performing, because there are, Kenny had over 600 songs that he recorded, mm-hmm. and he, like I say, he transcended all genres, and there's always somebody that wants to hear a song that you just don't have time for, or you just don't have the music for, or something that when we're doing the live show, the band hasn't rehearsed. And so I think that's the hardest part is, and the fans and the audience understand that, but it's still a kind of a disappointment, personal disappointment, that somebody wanted something that you just couldn't get into the show in the allotted time.
Yeah, you don't want to disappoint the fans, but you have to.
No, and I've got the best fans there are.
Oh, absolutely. The fans make you. Yeah, you can't do it without the fans. Absolutely. Do you have any upcoming projects? I know a lot is being off-put because of the coronavirus.
The coronavirus has put a dent into our plans. We have rescheduled a lot of them. I'll be down in Florida later this year, hopefully, and in the let's see, Fort Myers area, the Orlando area. I think we've got a couple down around Tampa, Ruskin, and then we have a Kenny and Dolly show that was actually scheduled for the first weekend in May, and of course with their quarantine up there, we had to cancel or I had to postpone that until October. So we're doing that the last of October, and then Dolly and I will be going to tentatively going to DeKalb, Illinois, for a show, and then just Virginia. I've got some shows up in Virginia that are scheduled for later this year. So while it's been disappointing, we've still been able to get a lot of things, and we've got a cruise with the Stephen Freeman, who is an Elvis tribute artist. We've got a cruise with him next year. Next May. Hopefully the cruise lines will be back in service by then. That's around May the 1st, I think it is, for a 7-day cruise. So we've got a lot of things that are planned. We just we haven't been able to book anything else because I don't want to book something and then some of the people that have already scheduled and had to cancel because of this. If they find a new date, I feel like they deserve priority because they put their deposits in there, and they deserve to have the priority for booking. So we're holding a lot of things in limbo right now to get it booked up.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, a lot of things in the industry and in the world have shut down and have been put on hold.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, even for me, I'm still doing interviews, but a lot has shut down for me because But hopefully, all we can do is pray, and hopefully this ends very soon.
Very, very soon. I know. I watch the updates every day, and we try to make sure that everything is going. If everyone would abide by the guidelines that the health organizations have given us, I think we would get through it a lot quicker. But you always have some that think they know a little bit better than the experts, and with those you just have to kind of bite your lip and pray that that they don't get sick or don't become a carrier and give it to someone who is susceptible.
Yeah. Well, going back to your work, you're a Kenny Rogers tribute artist. Do you do any other artists besides Kenny Rogers, or are you just?
I do. I do the great Emmy-nominated comedian Foster Brooks.
Oh, what a wonderful comedian! Oh yeah.
Oh, he is. And then we have started working on a new tribute, and that is to Merrill Osmond.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's just in the infancy stage.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. I've interviewed a few other tribute artists, and I think it's wonderful. It's a new concept to me, but
right.
It's very interesting. It keeps the legacy of those original artists going, and I think that's very important.
Well, and that's the main thing that I want people to understand. When I go into a show, I explain to them I am not Kenny Rogers. I've never claimed to be Kenny Rogers, and I am very blessed to have a love for his music, have a look that is similar to his, a sound that is similar to his, and to let other people enjoy. And a lot of people didn't or don't realize that when I'm singing some of the songs, they don't realize, well, that, I didn't know Kenny Rogers recorded that song. Well, yeah, he did back in 1969. And some of the big band stuff that he did with the Bobby Doyle Trio when he was in his 20s. Mm-hmm. They don't realize, oh, gosh, I didn't know Kenny Rogers recorded that. Yeah, he did back in 1959. He sure did.
Absolutely. I think I like the tribute shows. I've seen a few of them, and, you learn a bit of history from it. Like you said, I didn't know that artist did that, and it keeps the legacy alive, and I love that.
And that's the main thing that a tribute artist does is not to bring the attention to himself or herself so much. It's to keep the legacy of that artist alive, so that their music can live on through the ages. Because if it means that much to you as the artist, then you should be able to relate that love and devotion of that star, that artist, to your audience, and let them enjoy the excitement that you get, and the laughter, the tears, and the memories. Mm-hmm. that a certain song, a certain word, and like the comedians, it's Mike Walter, who does Don Rickles.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't sing, thank goodness. I've heard him sing, and he doesn't sing a whole lot, but he telling a joke as Don Rickles, that brings back, oh yeah, I remember him saying that on such and such a show. And it just, you just have you develop a new appreciation for that person, for that artist. Mm-hmm. And that's what you want to give to your audience whenever you're performing up there.
Oh, absolutely. And I've interviewed Mike Walter. He's a very funny guy. And
I'm sorry.
I've interviewed a lot of other tribute artists. I interviewed one who was a Frank Sinatra tribute artist, and all kinds, and it's very interesting.
We all have our unique stories, but I think we all have the same common goal.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of stories, do you have any unique stories you can share? Any on the top of your head? Anything that sticks?
Well, you always have one or two in an audience, and there was one. I was on a cruise ship back a couple of years ago, and there was a little lady there, and she was, I think, in her mid-90s.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And we were doing the show, and she just right in the middle of the show, she stood up and she says, "Hey, can we push this chair, these chairs back a little bit?" "Sure, yeah, be fine. Go ahead." I said, "What do you need?" She says, "I want to dance." Well, this 98-year-old wanted me to sing. I think it was Ruby again. No, I'm sorry. Just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in, and she got up and she just started cutting a rug. Well, of course, the whole lounge just went crazy because this lady was doing this. She was just, she was having a good time. And I always tell people, it doesn't matter whether you're young or old.